Have you ever noticed how quickly you dismiss a compliment? Someone tells you that you did a great job, that you're talented, kind, or inspiring, and almost immediately you find a way to explain it away. They're just being nice. Anyone could have done that. They don't really know me. You smile politely, but something inside refuses to believe the words. Instead of feeling appreciated, you feel strangely uncomfortable, almost exposed. It's confusing because you've probably spent moments wishing people would recognize your efforts. Yet, when they finally do, accepting that recognition feels harder than you expected. Why does something meant to make you feel good leave you feeling uneasy instead? The answer has very little to do with confidence, and much more to do with the way your brain protects the story it already believes about you. Most people assume this happens because they have low self-esteem, but the reality is often much more complicated. Every person carries an invisible identity, a quiet collection of beliefs about who they are. These beliefs are built over years through childhood experiences, repeated feedback, relationships, successes, failures, and thousands of small moments that slowly shape the way you see yourself. Long before you consciously describe yourself, your brain has already created a map of your identity. That map becomes so familiar that it starts feeling like reality itself. Whenever new information appears, your brain automatically compares it to that internal map. If it matches, it feels believable. If it doesn't, the brain becomes suspicious. This is why compliments can sometimes feel emotionally uncomfortable instead of reassuring. Imagine someone who secretly believes they're never quite good enough. They work hard, they care deeply, and they constantly question themselves. One day, a colleague tells them they're one of the most reliable people on the team. Logically, they hear the compliment. Emotionally, it doesn't fit the identity they've carried for years. Instead of updating their self-image, the brain looks for reasons why the compliment must be inaccurate. Maybe the colleague is simply being polite. Maybe they don't know the whole story. Maybe they just got lucky. The compliment isn't rejected because it's false. It's rejected because it conflicts with the emotional blueprint the brain already trusts. Cognitive psychology describes this as a tendency to preserve internal consistency. The brain prefers a stable identity over an accurate one because stability feels predictable. Predictability creates a sense of safety. Even painful beliefs can feel strangely comfortable simply because they're familiar. Your brain decides what feels true long before it decides what is true. Every experience you have passes through networks built from repetition. If you repeatedly heard encouragement, the brain begins expecting encouragement. If you repeatedly experienced criticism, comparison, or impossible standards, those pathways become stronger instead. Neuroscience calls this predictive processing. Rather than reacting to the world exactly as it is, your brain constantly predicts what it expects to see, then compares reality against those predictions. Imagine your identity as a pair of tinted glasses. You don't notice you're wearing them because you've had them on for years. They quietly color every experience before you're even aware of it. A compliment doesn't arrive as neutral information. It first passes through those lenses. If the compliment doesn't match the identity your brain expects, it feels suspicious instead of comforting. Your mind isn't rejecting kindness because it dislikes happiness. It's rejecting information that doesn't fit the pattern it already believes will keep you emotionally safe. Think of your self-image like a house you've lived in your entire life. Every belief about yourself is another brick in the walls. Some bricks were placed there by parents, teachers, friends, failures, or painful experiences you never chose. When someone offers a genuine compliment, they're not simply handing you kind words. They're quietly suggesting that one of those old bricks may not belong there anymore. Your brain resists because changing one brick means questioning the structure built around it. Stability feels safer than uncertainty, even when that stability is painful. This is why change often feels uncomfortable before it feels freeing. The discomfort isn't proof that you're becoming someone false. It's evidence that your brain is updating a story it has repeated for years. The first step is surprisingly simple. Stop arguing with every compliment you receive. You don't have to believe it immediately. You only have to stop rejecting it. The next time someone says, "You handled that really well," resist the urge to explain why they are mistaken. Simply respond with, "Thank you." Behavioral psychology shows that changing small behaviors often comes before changing deeply held beliefs. By accepting the compliment without debate, you interrupt the automatic habit of self-rejection. Imagine a coworker praising your presentation. Instead of listing everything you wish you had done better, pause for a moment and simply let the words exist. Your brain begins learning that appreciation doesn't always require a defense. The second step is becoming curious about your discomfort instead of judging it. Whenever a compliment feels uncomfortable, ask yourself one quiet question. What belief inside me is disagreeing with these words? Maybe someone tells you you're kind, but an old belief insists you're never enough. Maybe someone admires your creativity, while your inner voice repeats memories of being criticized. Cognitive psychology suggests that awareness weakens automatic thinking because it moves unconscious patterns into conscious reflection. Imagine a friend telling you that you inspire them. Instead of dismissing it, notice the immediate thought that appears afterward. That thought often reveals the hidden belief your brain has been protecting all along. The third step is collecting evidence instead of waiting for certainty. Your brain rarely changes because of one emotional breakthrough. It changes because repeated experiences slowly reshape its predictions. Keep a small notebook or note on your phone where you write down genuine compliments, moments of progress, or times when someone appreciated you. Not to prove that you're perfect, but to give your brain evidence it has been ignoring. Memory is selective. The brain naturally remembers information that supports existing beliefs. By intentionally recording positive evidence, you help balance that tendency. Imagine ending each week by writing down 3 moments where someone sincerely valued your effort. Over time, those moments become new emotional data rather than isolated exceptions. The fourth step is separating your worth from your performance. Many people only feel deserving of praise after achieving something extraordinary. But personality psychology reminds us that healthy identity grows from consistent values, not constant achievement. Instead of asking whether you earned the compliment, ask whether the compliment reflects a quality you've quietly practiced over time. Maybe someone thanks you for listening carefully. That isn't about perfection, it's about presence. Maybe someone appreciates your patience or honesty. Those qualities exist even on ordinary days when no one applauds you. The brain gradually learns that value isn't something you perform into existence. It's something expressed through the way you live. The final step is allowing your identity to grow slowly. You don't have to wake up tomorrow believing every wonderful thing anyone says about you. Identity doesn't transform overnight, and the brain doesn't rewrite years of conditioning in a single conversation. It changes through gentle repetition. Every compliment you receive without rejecting, every kind word you allow yourself to consider, every moment you respond with curiosity instead of criticism becomes another small update to your internal map. Imagine planting a tree. You don't dig it up every morning to check whether the roots are growing. You simply keep watering it. Identity develops in much the same way. Quietly, consistently, almost invisibly. Perhaps the simplest mental model to remember is this. Compliments are not mirrors that create your value. They are windows that allow you to see parts of yourself your old identity has been hiding. Some windows will feel uncomfortable to look through at first. That's natural. Your eyes need time to adjust to new light. But that doesn't mean the light is false. It only means you've spent a long time living in familiar shadows. One day, someone will thank you for your kindness, admire your work, or tell you that your presence made their day better. And instead of immediately searching for reasons they're wrong, you'll simply pause. You'll let the words settle. You won't feel the need to shrink yourself to protect an outdated story. You'll recognize that accepting appreciation isn't arrogance, it's honesty. The goal was never to convince yourself you're extraordinary. The goal was simply to stop arguing with every piece of evidence that says you're more than the harshest story you've ever believed about yourself. And maybe that's what real confidence has always been. Not believing you're perfect, but no longer believing that kindness toward yourself must always be questioned.